And in their words, let a pedophile go free. Hear now the pressure you never saw behind closed doors. Was the jury one big happy family when you went into the deliberation room?
I think prior to deliberations, I think that there was some camaraderie. It wasn't really until we got into the deliberation room and found out what was in people's minds that we realized that we're not all in the same key here.
So it really surprised me when everybody seemed to turn and get so mean.
You go back into the jury room, start deliberating. After a few hours, you have sort of an unofficial vote. What were the results?
About 2/3 of the jury were considering Michael Jackson as not guilty at that time.
And where were you?
I was on the guilty side.
No, you were the first one to say
Guilty.
guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
She said it in a big way.
I said
Right away.
I said it in a big way, and they came after me with a vengeance. I really got attacked.
How so?
I didn't understand. I didn't know. I was too old.
And there was a third juror, Katerina Carls, a 39-year-old county government worker, who tells us that she too initially believed Jackson was guilty.
Very bright
She
lady.
was very bright. She had taken a lot of notes. She knew exactly what was going on. And it amazed me when one of the other jurors challenged this particular juror that she may not really know too much about the American justice system because she had only been a citizen for 2 years.
How tough did it get for the two of you and this other juror? There you are, 3 of you holding out, and the other 9 are livid.
You wind up thinking, okay, if I stay with my convictions, that I believe that Michael Jackson is a child molester and that he did in fact molest this accuser, then what's the next thing that could happen? Okay, you probably wind up with a hung jury. You wind up with a mistrial, whatever. With this kind of cloud hanging over your head, and you're thinking, I've spent 5 months of my life in this trial, and nobody's going to kick me off of this trial until it's over.
I then asked Ray and Ellie about the jury foreman, 63-year-old Paul Rodriguez, a retired school counselor. To hear Ray tell it, it was Ray himself who sometimes acted as foreman.
The person that was selected as the foreperson, I think he was overwhelmed with his responsibility into thinking that he was primarily a go-between between the deliberators and the judge. There was one point where Ellie had stated her opinion. It was very early in the deliberation, and immediately the foreman starts complaining about inflexibility, and I just quite frankly turned to the foreman and said, I think you're being totally unfair to Ellie.
You say that you were threatened by the foreman. What did he say to you?
He said if I could not change my mind or go with a group or be more understanding, that he would have to notify the bailiff. The bailiff would notify the judge, and the judge would have me removed. I kept my position that I felt Michael was guilty.
So if you stuck to your guns,
yes,
that Michael Jackson was guilty, the foreman said, you're going to be kicked off.
I'm going to be removed or kicked off, yes.
A judge can discharge a juror for refusing to deliberate, but a juror cannot be discharged simply for disagreeing with other jurors. Jury Foreman Rodriguez declined our request for an interview. How angry are you at the way you were treated by other jurors?
The thing that really got me the most was the fact that people just wouldn't take those blinders off long enough to really look at all the evidence that was there.
So what happened that day when the verdict came down? How bad was the air?
The air reeked of hatred, and people were angry, and I had never been in an atmosphere like that before. I just felt that that they could turn on me any minute, and there wasn't anything I could do about it.
Did you tell anyone how bad it was for you?
I called my daughter, and she was very comforting. She said, Mother, you have done right. Your conscience is clear. You're a strong lady, and you can handle it, and you can handle them.
But you didn't.
I didn't. I caved in.